Hey Bethesda, EA's asking you to hold the beer, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a amazing little video today. Anthem, all right, a game that I wasn't really excited for. I don't think I had friends really that excited for it, but Anthem is a game that's coming out by EA, which is basically their fucking answer to The Division, to Ubisoft's Division, to Activision's Destiny. It's a four-player, I assume, fucking run and gun, loot and shoot type video game with the added gimmick of basically being an Iron Man simulator. Now, I'm going to get through the gameplay real quick. I managed to actually get into the game. We'll get into that whole story later because that's what the video is about. But the game itself is pretty and serviceable, I want to say. Well, the game looks good. You know, it kind of runs like ass on my system, but I found out that it runs like ass on anybody's system. This game is just a pile of hot ass and performance. But the game is there, it's functioning, kind of, and I was able to play a bit of it, and I guess I enjoyed it, you know, within the hour, 2 hours that I've played it. The game basically allows you to free roam in an open world, sort of Outlands type area, multiple locations. You fly around and you kill enemies and mobs that are around. It's kind of like I would say Borderlands in that way, or The Division, or Destiny. You know, you just run around in these enclosed areas. They're larger, but they're still enclosed. You're still shooting stuff, and you get the idea. You gather loot, you craft loot, you get better items, you grind up, and then you can take on bigger and more difficult bosses. Ladies and gentlemen, this is that kind of a game. Now, does it do its stuff pretty serviceably? Yeah, sure. You know, there are still games that do it far better, but, I mean, I can't blame it. You were able to play it. I was able to understand the systems and was able to get a good grasp on them. That's fine. The game has a story element to it, which I can't fucking access because the game actually has these story codex elements just spread out through the world. But until I buy the full fucking game and until that comes out, I won't be able to read the story. You know, if you're going to make a story-driven game, and if you don't want me to read the story, don't fucking put it in there for me to read. Just putting that one out there. But the game, unfortunately, has had a fairly awful demo launch. Now, when you make a game that is online only, what's the first thing you should expect? I don't know, to be able to connect to it, right? Well, it seems that EA, one of the biggest names in video games, by the way, multi-billion dollar company, couldn't get this fucking game connected online. People were having connection issues, apparently didn't have to do with a lot of people connecting. There was a fucked up demo launch to it. And you might be saying, well, Muda, it's just a demo launch. To which I respond and say, it's EA, okay? If anybody should be able to lock this down, it's this company, like Activision or Ubisoft. There is no reason a defense crowd should stand out. What I find weird about it are the people defending it. I didn't think we would get to the day where fucking expecting that an online-only game, an MMO, would allow me to actually, you know, connect to the MMO, all right? If we're letting companies get away with that fuck up, you might as well not even get the game. You might as well just give them $90 and just fuck off, all right? Because guess what? You don't have a functioning game. It is okay to expect a functioning game. This isn't a fucking indie developer. It's BioWare and EA, all right? You should expect that basic functionality to be operating. All right, that's what I don't understand. The defense crowd needs to stop when it comes to that shit. But anyways, the game is serviceable, it has connection issues, and from what I played of it, it hasn't been so impressive that I had to wait more time to connect to it than actually play it. But let me continue on with it. I find it pretty weird that companies these days are giving this stuff an MMO moniker when a real MMO, and I can show you real case examples, the MMO genre is being sort of hijacked by these loot and shoot games. First of all, let me give you a quick explanation of MMOs. If you want to see a real MMO, there's World of Warcraft, which I played for a bit, and a fair bit, and then there's Final Fantasy XIV, a game that I'm just getting into. That's an MMO. When we're talking about MMOs, we're talking about games that are basically dictated and created by their communities, where basically we're the ones, yes, there is a grinding, there is loot acquisitions, but we're also creating an in-game economy. We're also fucking creating in-game guilds and guild wars and PvP events within a community. We're doing that stuff. That's the definition of MMOs. Not fucking loot and shoots where four of my friends are guided together or I'm matchmaking with random people. That's not a fucking MMO. That is literally Borderlands. We didn't call Borderlands an MMO when it really, by today's today's definitions could actually be an MMO. No, it's a way for these guys to basically connect these games to an online-only server, control the economy to the point where, yes, we have to work like fucking slave labor class individuals, get fed drip-fed content that we just grind for over and over and over again, and sometimes you might get a cool thing here and there, but at the end of the day, it's still one long fucking grind, ensured so that we put in our credit cards to avoid it, or use our valuable time in such a dysfunctional way that it's literally better at that point. It's less of a headache to just pay for the microtransaction to begin with. Ladies and gentlemen, this game is not an MMO. It did not have to be online only. All that I could have played could have been processed locally. This is the same bullshit that Blizzard does with Diablo 3. For those of you who don't know, with Diablo 3, the game exists on console and PC. Difference being is that the console version can be played offline, the PC version requires an online connection. Are there, yes, differences to the game? Sure, but as far as the core gameplay goes, they're effectively the same. And I just don't fucking understand why one version needs that online connectivity when you're not really processing anything. At the end of the day, this game never did anything special enough for me to warrant the hype that I guess maybe it deserves. Because at the end of the day, I can put this game up with something like The Division and something like Destiny, and from a fucking mile glance, you may think that it may just be the same game, and it most definitely is. You know, they're all loot and shoots, and none of these games do things effectively different. You still got the same bullet spongy enemies, the same samey abilities. Yes, the graphics look nice. I mean, I fucking expect that from a game that has millions of dollars put into it. But at the end of the day, that doesn't exactly make the game worth to die for. These connection issues are indicative of the quality that EA is bothering to put into it. We know exactly what's going on. This is basically a microtransaction fucking wet dream for the developer. And ultimately, the biggest problem with this game is that it basically spells out the death of BioWare. Because if this game fucks up, like if this game fucking tanks in sales, right? If people cancel their pre-orders in droves, or they don't care about Anthem, or this lays such a Fallout 76-esque black spot onto it, then yes, fucking BioWare will get dissolved within this year or the next year, but they will get dissolved. And for what reason? Because the game has had such a piss-poor launch in this regard. The game right now needs a serious retouch-up on its stability, and honestly, its core concept. It's nice. Yes, I get the Iron Man simulator with it too. I start off as a level 10 discount dollar store bargain bin Iron Man. Maybe I'll end up getting the best Iron Man suit later in the game. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But at the core of it, ladies and gentlemen, Anthem is a game that's serviceable to play. But at the end of the day, with such failures like this, with such technical inconsistencies like this, should we really end up supporting a game by EA right now that's currently going through this rough patch? Because if this game flops, right, BioWare dissolves, and maybe that's for the fucking best. You know, BioWare recently has proven they cannot make an RPG, you know, with Mass Effect Andromeda, okay? They cannot make, even if this game does well in the story department, they still cannot make a functional game at this point. They're trying, yes, but this is not the old BioWare today. This is not the Knights of the Old Republic BioWare. This is not the fucking Mass Effect original trilogy BioWare. This is modern day BioWare, where I swear to God, it's like a shell company of what it's supposed to be. I know that I went off on a million fucking tangents right now, but I wanted to get out my entire piece. I hate the fact that Anthem is or games like this, these loot and shooters are hijacking really what the MMO genre is about, and also this online-only requirement that literally fucks up your game's launches. Okay, watch it happen with The Division 2. I guarantee The Division 2 might have the same thing happen to it. Day one launch issues, demo launch issues, beta launch issues. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, what I've realized is after playing Borderlands for the billionth time, these games effectively don't do anything too different. These are just DRM solutions created that make the game unownable by us, and also, for this case, unfucking playable. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. This is me, Mudahar. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. We went off on a million tangents, but I got my piece out. Let me know what you think. I am out.